Hola, everyone, and Happy New Year 2026. Welcome to the best of Open Artist Spotlight 2025 Holiday Edition. I'm Rhina Valentin, your host of Café con Leche every Friday. And today, we celebrate some of the most memorable artists we have featured in our Open Artist Spotlight of 2025. As you know, mi gente, every Friday we feature some of the most diverse, interesting, and cutting-edge artists on our program, whether they're established or up and coming. You know, Open Friday is more than just a television program. It's a platform for artists to pour their hearts out and showcase their talents to the Bronx community and beyond. So today, we're going to take a look back at three of the artists we featured in our Open Artist Spotlight of 2025. So sit back y prepárate. All this and more is headed your way because now we are officially open. Hey everyone, welcome to our best of 2025 Open Artist Spotlight Holiday Edition. I'm Rhina Valentin, your host of Café con Leche for the next hour, coming to you from Bronxnet Studios, inviting you to get social with us online, that is. Tweet us and follow us on Instagram at Bronxnet TV and like us on Facebook at Open Bronxnet Television. Of course, while you're there, follow moi on Instagram, Insta Stories, Threads, and LinkedIn at Rhina Valentin. Bueno, welcome back. Welcome back. We're so happy to be back. And today we're going to highlight the best of 2025 Open Artist Spotlight Holiday Edition. Our first featured artist is a singer and producer who is known for blending contemporary alternative R&B with older soul sound. Let's take a look at Ben Kelly's appearance. Hey everyone, welcome back to Open. Our last guest is a singer and producer who blends contemporary alternative R&B with older soul sounds, with influences from artists such as Frank Ocean and SZA, Tamari Gaye and Teddy Pendergrass. His music has been praised for its honest and relatable lyrics, soulful vocals, and catchy melodies. Everyone joining us to share more, we welcome singer and producer Ben Kelly. Hello and welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for being here. This is going to be an interesting discussion.
I'm ready, let's do it.
Yeah. So, you know, you're quite the bright figure, right? Meaning, you know, you're like walking sunshine. So I was sitting here as I was going through your background, and I'm looking at your environment, and so you actually surround yourself with very melanated individuals. You know what I'm saying? And you stand out, right? But it's so clear that you're at home.
I agree with that. I think that's a good read on it. I think it's like not intentional, honestly. Like just coming up in the music scene here, I met most of my artist friends, at open mics and things like that, and they welcomed me, I welcomed them right back, and they're all really talented. That's the one thing about artists in New York. I feel like the talent level is just really, really high, and some of my artist friends are just they do things that I do things that they can't do, right? Like I sing and everything. But some of my rapper friends, like they can freestyle for hours and hours, and it's just, they inspire me. I hope I inspire them.
Right.
But they definitely inspire me. And I don't know. I just think the community here is so welcoming. And that's something that I've also heard from other artists here in New York, that in New York, it doesn't have obviously it's not Hollywood, because that's literally in LA. But
Right.
also, people are much more welcoming, and I think everyone just wants to see each other win. So,
Right. It's
which is
almost
really
like
great.
soul to soul. That's really
Yes.
what I was alluding
Yes,
to.
yes.
It's soul to soul. Because I'm looking at you and I'm saying, oh, that's interesting, right?
Yeah, no, I get it, 100%.
Because, but it's dope though, because guess what? We need a lot more of that, right? So I felt like it was important for us to open up with that
Yeah, absolutely.
discussion because it doesn't matter. Is really what I'm trying to say. It really doesn't matter. What matters is how we build together, how we are enhancing each other, how we're crafting together, right? As you mentioned, your artist friends can do certain things that you can't, but yeah, when you come together, you complement each other.
Yes, I totally agree. I totally agree. And I think, just the solidarity together in terms of, we're making each other better, we're collaborating. I really love that about the scene here and the people that I've found. So I totally agree.
So what's different from being in Connecticut, where you originate from?
Yes,
Yeah, I told you I
yes.
did my homework. And where you're at now that you're officially a New Yorker.
Right.
I mean, Connecticut, we love you, but it ain't the same thing. It ain't
It's
the
true.
same culture.
It's true. No, it isn't. And for the record, I'm from the New York part of Connecticut. Like,
Okay.
I'm from an hour outside of the city. But yes, no. It is
No, I get
totally.
it, I get it, I
It is
get it.
totally different. It's totally different. I think just that people always talk about New Yorkers being harsh isn't the right word, but honest, but maybe sometimes they can rub people the wrong way. You sort of compare to like in the South, people are very manners and everything like that.
Right.
And I do think it's true in that people in New York are really authentic and really they are themselves. And if you are yourself, they will love you and accept you for it. And I think that's what I've found so far being here and being in the music scene. If you are yourself, like people can, I think especially New Yorkers can spot a phony, they can spot someone who's faking it.
That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying, right? And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be aggressive or anything.
Exactly.
It's about holding your ground and understanding that you're coming from an authentic place. Now, we got to clarify this whole New York version of the New York part of Connecticut. I'm like, go ahead. Tell me about that,
Yes.
the New York part of Connecticut.
The New York part of Connecticut, I mean, it's Fairfield County.
Okay.
It's the part that, because everybody in New England says that that's not part of New England, and everybody in New York is, has their opinion about it too. But it's fine.
How fascinating. See, you just taught me something new. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Exactly.
Making claims over there, right?
Right.
You belong over here, you belong over there, and that's
I straddle the line. I take some from both, I feel like. But
Yeah,
again, that's about the authenticity piece, being yourself.
And so how much of that feeds your music? Because again, you're straddling, right?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that when I started making music, because I grew up singing and everything like that, and then after I went to college and I graduated and I was like, all right, we're done with that, or just got time to enter the real world, so to speak. And I was sort of like, I realized that I missed it so much. And when I first started making music again, I was like, I'm going to make the music that I like. I'm going to do it in a way that's authentic to me. I don't want to do anything fake with it. I'm like,
Right.
Yeah.
You don't want to conform to what is selling.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Because that's what would happen if you were signed with a commercial agency.
Right.
We know, we get it. We love independent artists here, darling. That's why you're here.
Yes,
That's why you're
yes.
here. Speak your truth, because that's what we're here for, right? To support each other and understanding that art is art. It's if it gets a hit, beautiful, but we don't create it for that reason.
Exactly. And I think there's a lot of problems with social media and streaming, and specifically with music, but also just in general. But one of the good things is that I think there is more space to be authentic, and that you can create music that you like, and you can find people who also like it. So I think there's less pressure, especially when you're an independent artist. There's less pressure to, like you said, conform to whatever the current trend is.
Right.
And that's something that, at least to myself, I really try to hold myself to, that I don't want to jump on some trend unless it's a trend that I really like and I'm
Right.
inspired by it and I can put my own spin on it, whatever. But I don't want to sacrifice, authenticity and what I don't want to be out there making music that I don't want to make music that I don't like. Like, that's not
Right.
any fun.
Right.
So, exactly.
Right. Where's the fulfillment in that?
Exactly.
I get
Exactly.
it. I get it. That's why I love what I do here, because truly it's a platform that is serving the underrepresented, right? And so, I mean, not to say that you're underrepresented, but there's something to be said when we're just not following that trend
Right.
and just kind of paving our own way for the sake of designing and creating, right? And so that, with that being said, I understand you're writing your own stuff, you're producing your own stuff, like that's extra work. So let's talk about that.
Oh yeah, no, it's a lot of extra work, but I think also I do really like that I feel like what I put out is all me. I made the beat, I recorded it, I wrote the lyrics, I mixed it, I mastered it, and maybe it's not as perfect as when you have a massive team of 100 people doing it, but I really love that my work and my art is me, and I design my my art for it, like the cover art. I edit my own videos, everything like that, and I really love that about where I'm at right now. Like, yes, it would be great to have a team that's helping me with some of that stuff, and hopefully eventually I can incorporate some other people helping me with my stuff. But I love that it's my art, and that makes it so much more meaningful when people like it. I'm like, this is something that I created. This is all me.
From soup to nuts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So how many do you have in the can?
Songs?
Yeah.
I gotta count. I try to put out like
That's already been produced.
yeah. Oh yeah. It's got to be at this point upwards of 20 songs.
Nice.
Yeah. No, I have a pretty big catalog at this point because I
Very nice.
try to put out about a song a month. I've definitely slowed down a little bit, and I need to
Why was that so important to you to do the song a month?
I think it's just, well, I mean, also just personally as someone, everyone who makes music also loves music.
Right.
And like, as
But
someone
was that a tactic to hold yourself accountable for just making sure you birth it?
yes, that, and then also, well, I think also just, when I find an artist that I like, if they don't have a lot of songs, it's kind of, it's disappointing. And it's sort of like, oh, I wish I had more that I could listen to. So I wanted to make sure that I had plenty of songs out there. That, and also I would say out of, the process of making music, I love writing songs. That's like my favorite part of it, and producing the beat and writing songs. I think finishing them, recording them, doing the mixing and mastering, that usually is what slows me down. So I'm just like writing songs all the time. So I have so many songs. So I'm like, I want to put them out. So that plays into it too. But also, yeah, just I want to be putting new stuff out. I live in these songs, right? Like by the time I put a song out, I've listened to it so many times over and over again, tweaking it, making sure that it's where I want it to be.
Because I was here when you were doing your sound check, which you guys are going to experience it after this interview. What really resonated with me in listening to your lyrics is like, wow, he's got a time capsule, right? And I'm saying a time capsule based on the language that you're using.
You mean like the fact that it is contemporary and yes.
That it's relevant to
Yes.
today,
Yes.
because God knows what language you're going to be using in another year or now.
That's true. That's
Especially
true.
when it comes to like the technology, it's just moving so rapidly.
Right.
And then there's the acronyms that go with it. And so you wrote the song, which again, you guys are going to hear afterwards, and all that not all, but just like what really resonated with me, I would say, is like, wow, I wonder if he realizes that he has like a historical piece right there.
That's true. You're right. No. I have not thought about that specifically. I think, my approach to writing specifically lyrics is I try to write the way that I talk. I try to use the words that I would use in my normal day-to-day life. Obviously, there's some artists, you try to make it creative, flowery, whatever, however you want to put it. But yeah, I just try to make it relatable to my own experience and my life. In the song specifically, DMs, everybody's in everyone's DMs now. I'm on my phone all the time. It's a problem.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's a problem for everybody.
Yeah,
but
it is.
yeah.
But
So-
it starts with at least recognizing that
Right,
know,
right.
that you're on overdrive.
Yes.
With it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But by the same token, who knows how long that's gonna last?
True. And I guess, I think there's and maybe in that way it's sort of part of a great tradition musically. Like, there are some classic songs that, like don't apply anymore. Like there's I think it's New Edition, Mr. Telephone Man. Like that song, Mr. Operator, like nobody, I don't think I've ever called an operator.
Right.
So in that way, it's cool to me that I have a song now, I guess, yeah, you're right, that is sort of, it's a place in time. And maybe, yeah, in 10, 15 years, people will be like, what's a DM?
Right, exactly. And we are so excited that you brought it here to us here on Open.
Of course.
And thank you for sharing your process with us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
All right, you guys, Ben Kelly, don't go anywhere because Ben Kelly is going to perform for us. He's going to perform DMs, right?
Yes.
DMs.
DMs.
You know, the DM?
Exactly.
After the breaking, you don't want to miss that. Hey everyone, welcome back to Open, here now to perform DMs. Let's give it up for Ben Kelly.
I can love you better than all the boys in your DMs. You should leave them all on red and come around with me instead. I can love you better than all the boys in your DMs. You should leave them all on red and come around with me instead. I know you've been going crazy, fed up with these thirsty lonelies. Baby, you could be my only, satisfied until the morning. God, for you I too romantic. You ain't got the time for situations. Tell them that your heart's under new management, and I'm the board president. Whoa. I can love you better than all the boys in your DMs. You should leave them all on red and come around with me instead. I can love you better than all the boys in your DMs. You should leave them all on red and come around with me instead. Instead, I know you got options, but I'm trying to lock in, flying to the top, and I need you in my cockpit. I'm saying that I can love you better than all the boys in your DM. You should leave them all on red and come around with me instead. I can love you better than all the boys in your DMs. You should leave them all on red and come around with me instead. Instead.
I'm giggling because, like I said, Ben Kelly, everyone! We have to take a quick break. We'll be right back with our best of 2025 Open Artist Spotlight Holiday Edition.
Sent from the future to save the past, heal the planet and make it last. We find solutions with knowledge slides. Venture forth, echo leaders unite. Echo leaders, echo leaders.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Best of 2025 Open Artist Spotlight Holiday Edition. And now we're going to take a look back at a Dominican-American Bronx native actor and reggaeton artist who happens to be one of my personal faves. Everyone, this is Adrian Read. Hello everyone, welcome back to Open. Our last guest is a Dominican reggaeton artist, a musician, actor, and Bronx native who is working out life as seen in his self-published book through also acting, writing, singing, fitness, and more. Known professionally as AR, he strives to thrive, aiming to be a good person to all and to serve others. We love that. And here to share more, we welcome musician and actor Adrian Read, also known as AR. Hello and welcome.
Rhina, thank you so much for having me. It's a joy to be here.
Yeah, it is a joy. It's a joy to be in the presence of fabulosity.
Oh, thank you.
Look at you rocking your Bronx native.
Yes.
Dominoes.
Shout out to Amauri, Bronx native. Literally, this is my favorite sweater, and I've worn it literally all winter.
And the domino?
Yeah, well,
Does it
you know,
represent anything
well, the
for
back
you?
says lucky number 7, so yeah.
Ah, very clever.
Yeah.
Yeah, rocking the proud Bronx native. Now, let's talk about your trajectory, right? Because I mean, you're going to perform for us later.
Yes, I am.
And your style is it's just like a fusion of alternative rock. I don't know. I mean, that's my interpretation.
no, yes.
But I'm going to assume you have an eclectic repertoire.
It's a mix, yeah.
Yeah. And then there's this book that you write. I know you're heavy into fitness. And then, of course, the acting. So I had so much fun doing research on you yesterday because I was entertained.
You probably saw quite a bit.
What? But first let's start with the whole Spartan because that one blew me away. How many Spartan races or competitions, I should say, have you done?
So I've completed every set of Spartan race. So there's a Spartan Sprint, which is 5K. There's a Spartan Super, which is 10K. There's a Spartan Beast, which is 21K. And there's a Spartan Ultra, which is 50K. 50K, for those who don't know, is 33 miles. And then they also come with a set of obstacles. That one in particular was 65 obstacles.
Wow. Okay. I ran the New York City Marathon back in 2014, and that was enough for me. Okay. So, what is it about the Spartan and that challenge that you are really upping the game every time you enter, I guess, one of these competitions? Because 50K.
Yeah. So I guess it all stems from when I was a kid. I got into training. I got into working out. I used to get bullied when I was a kid, and so I joined the gym and I started working out, and the bullying stopped. So that was good, and I always had an affinity for training and for just physical development.
So just backtrack really quick, because I love when we get into the topic of bullying, because bullying is something that unfortunately is still present in our society. But I do love when it becomes the catalyst,
A source of strength.
right?
Yes.
The motivator to figure out a way to come out of that situation. So I just wanted to just recap on the fact that that
Definitely.
was your motivation
Yes.
to then develop your body.
Yes, honestly, I used to get bullied around the block. I used to get bullied in school, and I used to watch cartoons of characters that would train and they would get stronger, and I literally mirrored what they were doing, and I decided that, I want to be strong. I want this to stop, and I started first training in my own room, and then I joined the gym, and as I developed my physique and the bullies saw me, they were like, oh, wait a minute. If we get in there, we might get hurt this time. So it worked. It was a source of strength, and it stuck with me all throughout.
And it also builds your confidence.
Yes.
And it also demonstrates your own self-worth.
Yes.
Right? Because just doing these competitions, the Spartan, when I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, how many medals do you have? I
have about 10 medals.
10 medals,
yes.
Okay? This is no joke, okay? I know, because I ran one marathon, and I said, oh my gosh, and this is what I tell everybody, if you want to know what you're made of, run a marathon. So I can imagine doing a Spartan race in which you are now also up against obstacles, and you said that they vary.
Oh, yes. So basically, the reason I did the Spartan race is because I've been training ever since I was a kid. So I started training when I was 9. I'm 35 now. I've been training ever since. And the Spartan races were a way for me to really realize what I was made of, to know what all the training that I've done throughout my life, if I could do it or not. And they serve as that, as like something that you can do to realize where you're at in your fitness journey. And so the one that I did recently, the Spartan Ultra, was 33 miles, 65 obstacles. It took me 12 hours to complete.
Oh my God, 65 obstacles?
And the obstacles are pretty much rope climbing, climbing over 10-foot walls. You have to cross a lake. There's a lot of things that pretty much, unless you're actually well trained, you're probably not going to get through them.
Wow.
But I wanted to do it. I wanted to know where I was.
And the reason I keep bringing this up is because it's not just about the race, it's about completion.
Yes.
So you've disciplined yourself in the art of completion,
Yes.
which I think everybody needs to understand the value of
So
completion.
necessary. Yes.
Right? And so because you're disciplined in the art of completion, despite the obstacles, right?
Yes.
Or the 65, I might say. Ay, Dios mío,
Gracias,
65.
gracias.
Ay, Dios mío. Just the thought of it.
Gracias.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
Oh my gosh. However, it's a mind over matter, right?
Yes.
And is also the what you really come out winning, even within yourself, knowing that you completed the task. So now that behavior is now carried into whatever other task.
Yes, yes. I love that. I love that fact that you identified that one thing can translate into another one. Because the book that I wrote, Working Out Life, is literally that.
Oh, you have it with you,
yes,
don't you?
I actually have for you my very last physical copy.
Really?
And as you can see, it's a little worn because I've actually read it a bunch of times. And I want you to have it.
You want me to have it?
I want you to have
You
it, yes.
sure?
I'm
Oh
sure.
my
You can
gosh.
see that it's worn. I've read it a bunch of times because
love this.
I wrote this book, but there's some principles in the book that anybody can abide by, even me. I still try to uphold them. And it's a practice. It's not something that we're going to be perfect at, but we
Right.
can start trying to implement them every day. And it's a practice. Every single day I have to wake up and remind myself what I want to stand for and what it is I want to say and what I want to bring to the world. And so I read it often. I've read it a lot of times.
And you're
So
giving
it's
it
for
to
you,
me.
yes.
Well, I just noticed that one chapter is listed as building, another one is listed as recovery,
Yes.
another one is listed as flexibility, which is
Yes.
how I'm living right now.
Flexible. Oh, we have to be. We have to be adaptable. Yeah.
Like water, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Me and the water. The water is like my guide. I'm like, yes, mother, tell me how to move because, so you know.
Well, Bruce Lee had a quote that he said, be like water.
Yeah,
And
I
it's
have
because of
that book.
We
Uh-huh.
have to be able to adapt.
Yes.
Especially now, something that was a recurring theme in the previous conversations was today's climate. And I do
Yes.
want to talk about that because a lot of people are struggling. A lot of people are having a hard time, and we all feel it. And something that I realized at some point is that different people have different capacities to withstand pain and suffering. And I want to use a movie actually as an analogy, as into like what we can do, the people that can withstand and uplift others. There's Spider-Man. And in Spider-Man, Peter Parker touches on this amazing power. And right before his uncle passes away, he tells him, with great power comes great responsibility. And he could have decided to just do whatever he wants. I'm just going to go to bars and drink and whatever. But what Uncle Ben meant by that was, if you have a great power as a person, you have to use it to uplift others and to help. And in today's society, there are people that are doing amazing things that can uplift others that are suffering more than the average person. And you have to know if you're one of those people. And that's your superpower, the thing that you do. And you have to be able to use that, because if you don't use that, then the world goes into array.
Yeah, well said, because at the end of the day, we're discussing your various talents and the different forms in which you've chosen to contribute. But really, we must approach everything that we do being of service.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I believe one of my biggest sayings is we're here to serve other people, only because you can only serve yourself so much. You can have all the money in the world and all the riches, and there's a cap onto the amount of pleasure that you can take on, but what you can do for other people, that's unlimited. Like what you guys do here, what Teresa does, what Margot does, that can reach so many other people, and that's how you change the world. So being of service to others, and then your life actually starts changing according to that. So I'm a big believer in helping people as much as you can.
Beautiful. And of course, there's being in community and choosing the right community,
Yes.
right?
That's another one. Cuidado.
Because, we are reflections of each other,
Yes, yes,
right?
absolutely.
And so I love the conversations that we've had this entire morning, because it is so important for us to really understand the value of what we are and who we are to each other.
Yes. We need each other. We're the
Yes.
greatest resource that we have, and living here in New York, sometimes it's hard to see that, because here there's a grind culture. It's just go, 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 just
Right.
focus on yourself.
Yes.
And we forget that we need each other to do things. Like, there's an amazing team behind the scenes that is making this happen.
Right.
And without this team, this wouldn't happen. So
Right.
we need each other more than we think. So I'm a big proponent in
Yes.
making sure that we value each other and we treat each other as the people that need each other.
I appreciate you acknowledging our crew. And, you know,
I do.
No, it's because you're right. I always tell people, like, people don't realize it takes a good 10 to
Yeah.
20 people to put
Absolutely.
one episode on. And then with my crew, the conversations we have is like whatever energy they bring into the space is what I'm going to give to the viewers
Yes.
because what they feed me is what I'm able to share with you guys.
Absolutely.
And so, yes, thank
I
you
love
for
that.
acknowledging them. Yes.
No, I do,
yes.
I have to.
Yes. And then, okay, but before we go, because you're going to be performing
Mm-hmm.
for us, we didn't really talk much about your music career, but you're going to be presenting it, and we're going to also
Yes.
share that you have a new release that
Yeah.
is now available. However, I want to talk about everything that we've just discussed in music form now,
Perfect.
because that is your other modality of healing.
So let's talk about music. When I was a kid, I was very to myself. My parents divorced when I was 9, and I found music when I went to high school. And music was my way of connecting with people. Because even though I wasn't very social as a kid, music I was able to connect with people. I would play music, and they were like, "Oh wow, you're a guitarist," and so that was my way of connecting. And fast forward now, as an adult, I still use it as a way to connect with people. And most recently, I started a project on the topic of completion. I started a project 2 years ago, which was this reggaeton project. I was never a reggaeton artist. I was always a guitarist, but I wanted to do this, and so I started this project. And midway through the project, I had done 5 songs. I had to take a break because sometimes you need to take a break, and but I knew that I wanted to complete it. And so sometimes you do have to take a break, but you have to tell yourself, I have a mission, and I have to get this mission completed. And so just recently, on December 20th, which is actually my birthday, I managed to complete the album.
Of
and release it.
2024?
Yes.
High five. Wow. Nice.
Ya tú sabes. And I released.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And this song I mean, this album, it means a lot to me because I've always wanted to do something like this musically, where it was like the epitome of what I'm capable of, and it incorporates all the elements that I love. I love guitar. I love rock, as you know. I love Latin music. So I have a lot of these flavors in there. There's a little bit bachata. There's a little bit. There's a
You're
little bit
bringing
of
your
everything.
culture into it,
Yes.
pero hay un fusion.
You have to. De todo. Un sancocho.
Un sancocho. Me encanta eso. I could afford one right now. After we're done with this, I'm going to be doing a sancocho, but we're going to be tasting
Perfecto.
your sancocho vocally, right?
I got you.
The Spartan Master. Oh my gosh, Adrian. We can go on and on, pero ya, you know, it's time for
Oh,
you to
we can
perform.
talk. We can
You
talk
ready?
forever.
You ready?
Perfecto,
All
vámonos.
right. All right. I hope you guys are ready because Adrian's going to perform for us when we return, and you don't want to miss. Nice. Hola, mi gente. Welcome back here now to perform Suéltame. Let's give it up for Adrian Read.
Gracias. Thank you, Rhina.
Tú a mí me dices que me quieres ver, después me dices que no quieres saber de mí. Tú a mí me dices que te dé placer, después me dices que no puede ser. Yeah, y este huequito no lo aguanto, baby. Me tiene la cabeza dando vueltas y yo te di más de lo que tú mereces y me fallaste ni sé cuántas veces. Suéltame, suéltame, que ya no quiero. Suéltame, suéltame, que ya no puedo. Suéltame, suéltame, que ya no quiero. Suéltame, suéltame, que ya no puedo. Ya yo me cansé. Suéltame, ya yo me cansé. Déjame, ya yo me cansé. Suéltame, ya yo me cansé. Déjame, ya yo me cansé de tu mal querer. Ya yo me cansé y no te quiero. Ya yo me cansé de tanto joder. Ya yo me cansé y no te quiero ver. Este relajo se acabó conmigo. Quizá con otra te tira mejor. Ey, que otro pendejo que te dé su amor. Que otro pendejo que te dé calor. Nah, tú no mereces ni mi tiempo, mucho menos mis sentimientos. No te quiero ver por aquí. Fue de embalde lo que sufrí. Suéltame, suéltame, que ya no quiero. Suéltame, suéltame, que ya no puedo. Suéltame, suéltame, que ya no quiero. Suéltame, suéltame, que ya no puedo. Escúchame. Ya yo me cansé, suéltame ya, yo me cansé. Déjame ya, yo me cansé. Suéltame ya, yo me cansé. Déjame ya, yo me cansé de tu mal querer, ya yo me cansé y no te quiero, ya yo me cansé, ya yo me cansé. Ya yo me cansé, suéltame ya, yo me cansé. Déjame ya, yo me cansé. Suéltame ya, yo me cansé. Déjame ya, yo me cansé. Suéltame ya, yo me cansé. Déjame ya, yo me cansé. Suéltame ya, yo me cansé. Gracias. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Gracias, gracias. Thank you, Rhina.
Oh my
Thank you,
God.
everybody.
Ya yo me cansé, suéltame. Yeah, I love me some Adrian Read. All right, you guys, we have to take a quick break. We'll be right back with our Best of 2025 Open Artist Spotlight Holiday Edition. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Best of 2025 Open Artist Spotlight Holiday Edition. And finally, who can forget this performance by singer, composer, interdisciplinary artist, educator, and activist, Taina Asili. Let's take a look at this very special performance. Hey everyone, welcome back to Open. Our last guest is also no stranger to the show. She is a New York-based Puerto Rican interdisciplinary artist carrying on the traditions of her ancestors, fusing elements of Afro-Latin rhythms, multimedia productions, creative collaborations, and educational and artistic advocacy. From iconic stages such as Carnegie Hall, Lincoln Center, and she's also been recognized by Rolling Stone and Billboard. She is a catalyst for social change, empowering her community through her work such as Fever Pitch Productions, also the Rhythm of Rebellion podcast, and a Resiliencia album, and more. And she's also one of my all-time favorite soul singers and friend. Everyone, please help me welcome back to Open singer, composer, interdisciplinary artist, and educator, Taina Asili.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's such an honor to be here with La Reina, the Queen. I mean, it's just always such a pleasure. So thank you.
You know, when it's queens recognizing queens,
Word.
that's,
Yes.
that's when you know
That's it.
we're in the right place.
We're in the right place.
Yes,
Yeah.
because we just see each other as we are.
That's right.
Right?
That's
and
right.
And we serve each other in our respective areas of just feeding.
Ashe to that.
Ashe to that, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Yeah.
I'm so honored to be here. I'm so honored to be here.
Oh my gosh. And, you know, again, another individual who made their way all the way to the Bronx from upstate.
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And you came in person. I mean, I had you on in the other studio pre-pandemic,
Yep.
so it means a lot to us. Well, to me especially, when it's important for you to come and present here, live in studio.
It's always a pleasure to be here. Even though I'm an upstate New Yorker, I'm an upstate New Yorican. And so the heart of that is here in New York City and, of course, in the Bronx. And so it's such a pleasure to always be here with you. Thank you.
Yes, Queen. Yes. All right, so today you're repping fire and I'm repping water.
Yes, look at
the
that. We get those
elements.
elements. I love it.
Yes.
I love it.
And it is Earth Month.
It is.
Right? And
It
I know you
is.
did this fabulous presentation for Earth Day, which
Yes.
we're going to get into. But I would like to introduce our audience a little bit more about the work that you've been doing for decades now related to climate justice.
Yeah. Well, as you know, I've been doing artistic work related to social justice, climate justice. I mean, I'm probably going on over 2 decades, but it's always in response to and in collaboration with movement work. So, for example, I'm the board chair of an organization called Soul Fire Farm, which is an amazing food justice farm in upstate New York working to undo racism and seed sovereignty in the food system. I've had the honor and privilege to support organizations like the North Carolina Climate Justice Collective. This past year, we went on a beautiful tour with them. So, over the course of my career, I have had the honor and privilege of connecting with organizations, supporting organizations, whether that's through performances, whether that's through getting in the streets and protesting with them.
know.
And, whether that is doing benefit concerts, for example, for Uprose Brooklyn.
Yes.
Elizabeth
lovely
Young-Pierre,
Elizabeth
we
Young-Pierre.
love
We're going to
so
give a shout out to
much.
another
Yes,
queen.
Another
Yes.
queen, another beautiful queen. So, so through all of that, I've been deeply inspired. And of course, just the movements at large, right? So whether we were looking at the movement to end the bombings by the U.S. Navy in Vieques, Puerto Rico, or people who have been doing walks and runs to protect sacred sites, all of that has influenced my work. And so for the past 2 decades, all I've done is work to create songs that support those movements, that can be the jogging track to the revolution, I like to say.
Yeah.
That can help to bring those rhythms of rebellion, that energy that we need to keep on going in the fight. And so that's what I aim to do.
No, I love that. Would you say the jogging?
The jogging track to the
Yes,
revolution.
yes, because that's what you bring.
Yes.
That's what you bring, right? And that's what I think captivates me, right? Because everything you do intentionally.
Yeah.
And that, to me, it's priceless, and it's also timeless.
Yeah.
Because even though it's happening like right now, you're capturing history in this art form in which, yes, jogging track to the protest.
Right.
However, it's also documentation of
That's
where we
right.
are at this particular time.
That's right.
Yes.
And, in that documentation, so as an interdisciplinary artist, not only have I created songs and music videos, but I started to get into, and you mentioned Resiliencia, I started to get into music video documentary work. So, for example, the title track of that album, Resiliencia, that was created, I went to Puerto Rico 4 months after Hurricanes Irma and Maria hit the island of Puerto Rico and documented with a camera the stories of 4 incredible women artists and activists about their stories of resilience, of resistance in the face of this moment where climate change and colonialism, intersect, and what was born from that. And so that became Resiliencia. So it's not just, being inspired, but really it's going into that deep questioning, sitting at the feet of my elders, sitting at the feet of people like you, beautiful people who inspire me so deeply, and really asking the questions that need to be asked. Similarly with Plant the Seed, another song that's in the Fever Pitch show, I interviewed one of my dearest friends, Leah Penniman, the co-director of Soul Fire Farm, co-founder, asking her, what it took to create this farm, and really interviewing her, creating these beautiful documentaries that I've now gotten to share with the world so that people can see not only the song, hear the song, but see the story behind the song.
They get the backstory
it.
of it, right?
Yeah.
In another
Exactly,
form.
exactly.
Yes. And again, it's important because, you know, she's coming to me right now, so we have to shout out Dicia Pagan.
Oh.
Because, yes.
You're gonna make me cry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I feel
Yeah.
that. So I have to put her name
Yes.
here. I
That's
have to
right.
bring her into the
That's
space
right.
because
Ashe.
you honored her so beautifully.
Thank you. Thank you.
And then there's the work that we do together, you know, coming under the guidance of young Lord Minerva,
That's right.
right?
That's right.
And-
That's what, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah. And so there's that marriage of understanding that, we have a responsibility to make sure that the next generation is informed
That's right.
without compromising the way in which we contribute,
That's right.
right?
That's right.
It-
And so Dilcia, bringing Dilcia into
Yes.
the space, Dilcia Pagan, former Puerto Rican political prisoner, artist, healer, beautiful elder who recently
She was
passed
in the
away.
media as
in
well.
the media.
Yeah,
Thank
big-time
you.
producer.
Thank producer.
Mhm.
Cannot forget that. You know, she always used to say, know your essence. She used to say, know your essence. You know, for me, that I understood that to be know who you are and where you come from. You know, for me as an artist, I know that everything that I bring with me as an artist, it's coming from my ancestors. It's coming from that rhythm of rebellion that was passed on from generation to generation, helping us to survive this moment. So that's part of that knowing your essence. But also, I think part of knowing our essence is getting to really sit with the people in our community and be able to document and absorb and let that fold into ourselves, because you and I are intimately connected.
Right.
We're all interconnected,
Right.
right? So knowing you helps me to know me.
Right.
So that's part of what that documentary work is about. And I did interview Dilcia for the Resiliencia documentary, which was a beautiful experience. And I'm deeply grateful that I got to capture her wisdom, not only in the song, but in that documentary forevermore.
Yeah, and the capture is poetic within its own form, right? Even though it's about the elements. I'm going to go back to the elements
Yeah.
because look, you're wearing fire. I'm bringing in the
Yes,
water,
yes.
and you were by the ocean,
Yes.
and then there's the ancestry and the goddesses that represent it,
Yeah.
right? And so, is this something that I'm curious.
Yeah.
That you learned as you grew, or was it something that you were born into? Because I wasn't born into it.
Okay.
It found me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, you know, I would say my mother was an incredible woman. Both my parents were. They were founders of the Latin American Student Union at Binghamton University. And my mother was a founder of a group called Kimbamba. And it was a bomba group that she co-founded. And we're talking about the late 1960s in upstate New York. As a way to reclaim our culture and our roots and our traditions. And so my parents, you know, I grew up in an area that was not super diverse, right? But they helped me to understand who I am and where I come from, to know that essence. And so they gave me both that the rooting in our cultural traditions, which are our spiritual traditions.
Right, exactly.
Right? When we're talking about a bombazo or we're talking about any kind of art or music we create, I really believe that is part of our spiritual tradition. So they taught me that. And that's what I carry into the work that I do today. And so even though the work that I do isn't folkloric per se, that it is part of the
fused in,
river
yes,
and
yes.
the current.
Right.
Right? And so they taught me that. And they also taught me to honor nature. You know, my grandmothers, you know, in blessed memory, and all of them in blessed memory, they taught me to honor nature. You know,
You grow your own food, don't you?
I do my best to grow my own
I
food.
know, I'm seeing. I'm like, go ahead.
I do.
That is what's up.
And you know, my grandmothers taught me that. You know, my grandmothers taught me about growing our own food, about cooking our own food, about reclaiming, you know, understanding what goes into our bodies and how that benefits our health. My mother was an incredible gardener as well, and my father father loved animals and nature. So, being able to have that certainly infused into everything I do today. And then, of course, I continue to learn and cultivate with all the people that are around me, and like Leah Penniman and others, learning how to just reclaim those practices and pass them on to my children.
So how does it feel, right, to be in this place, this particular climate, and know who you are and know what you're here to serve, right? What has it taken for you to get there? And because you have an air about you. I mean, you're a goddess in my eyes, right? But you had to have, like, gone through a lot of different trials and tribulations in order to be secure.
Sure.
And like, this is how I'm presenting it.
Absolutely. Yeah. I like I said, I grew up in an area where I didn't see a lot of reflection of myself. And so what that meant was, I was dealing with racism, sexism, homophobia, all of these different forms of oppression on a regular basis. And music became my savior. Music became my solace. Music became my home in a way that, particularly in songwriting and expression and performance of it. So I did start off in a punk band.
I know. I remember that.
I did start off in a punk band, and that was my rebellion. My rage and rebellion. Today, obviously, the work that I do isn't in that form. And part of that is that during that time period of my life, my parents passed away when I was a young adult. And so it was that circling back to knowing my essence and to wanting to honor my ancestors and honor them in everything that I do. And so I took that punk rock rebellion, that beautiful spirit, and folded it with those teachings, those spiritual teachings and those folkloric teachings that my parents taught me, and also their rebellion, right, of reclaiming a space as Latinos, as Latinas, as Latines, to demand that we get to have that space. So that is what I do today. I reclaim my space. I reclaim my humanity. I reclaim my cultural and spiritual traditions. I create new ones. I keep culture moving forward like a river ever flowing, right? We can't be stagnant. We always have to keep it moving
Making
forward.
my hair stand. Oh my God. Did you write that down? That's the next song. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Yes, and I felt every word of it. And I just want to end this segment saying that I had read a meme recently that really resonated with me, and I don't know who the quote is from, but it's like, true wealth does not lie in finances. The true wealth, it lies in the soil.
That's right.
In the soil.
That's right. That's right. And there's a beautiful strength that we can receive from touching soil, right? From connecting ourselves to the earth. This song that I'm going to share with you today, it says, we are nature. It's not like nature is separate from us. We are nature, and we can lean into that beauty, that power, that strength, the strength of the water, the strength of the fire, the strength of the wind, right? That's what our ancestors taught us, is to lean into that strength, the strength of these elements of this beautiful, interconnected, woven, living, alive existence
Yes.
that we have
Yes,
together, right?
existence in it, coming from a mindful perspective.
That's right. And that's what's going to help us to move through this moment.
I agree. Yeah. And as we honor Pachamama
That's right.
right now.
Atabe. That's
Okay,
right.
Atabe
Yes.
in our
And the Orisha.
yes.
Yes. Yes.
during Earth Month, no
That's
less.
right. That's right.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
This is beautiful.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you. Oh, all right, you guys, I know you felt that love fest, okay? But guess what? We're going to treat you to the extension of this love fest through her presentation, as we discussed. So don't go anywhere, because Taina Asili is going to perform for us after the break, and you don't want to miss it. Hey everyone, welcome back to Open. Here now to perform Nature from her show Fever Pitch. Let's give it up for Taina Asili.
Protecting the sacred of all ecology, the interdependence of every species, the right to self-determination nation we affirm the right to every living being free of harm. Detoxification of water and of land. Ethical use of our resources we demand. To live in balance with nature, our lives depend. It's this relationship with us we will defend. With the strength of the water, with the strength of the sea, with the strength of the soil, with the strength of the breeze. Cessation of predator corporation greed and governmental pawns whose mouths they feed, and occupation of land stolen and misused, reparations for those exploited and abused, support for those who battle on the front lines, reclaim our land, our health, and colonize, re-educate our children, cleanse the climate lies, and with this knowledge we will harmonize. Of the water, of the sea, of the soil, of the breeze, of the fire, of the blood, of the people, of our love. Hey. Yes. We are all nature. We are all nature. We are all nature. We are all nature. Ha! Of the soil, of the sea, of the fire, of the breeze, of the fire, of the blood, of the people, of our love, of the wire, of the wrong, of the children who ask for more, of the ancient in our blood, speaking through us with their love, their love. Thank you all so much.
That's our show today, mi gente. Thanks to all of our guests for coming through this past year, and to you, our viewers, for tuning in to this very special 2025 Open Artist Spotlight Holiday Edition. If you missed any part of the show, you can check out this episode throughout the weekend and 24 hours a day at Bronxnet.tv. I'm Rhina Valentin, and it is my privilege to serve you another year. And from all of us here at Open, may the universe provide paz, prosperity, y amor. Here's to kicking off the New Year season with love in our hearts. So let's be kind to each other this year.